Let's now start this bulletin by bringing you some updates on the protests happening in the United States. There is widespread anger and chaos in the United States as of now. On one side, more than 64,000 people have died from coronavirus and 1 million have been infected. President Donald Trump says that he's got the situation under control. And on the other hand, protests are taking place across the U.S. against the stay-at-home orders issued by some states. Protesters are demanding an end to the coronavirus restrictions and taking to the streets in cities across the nation. Protesters in California gathered on Friday to protest Governor Gavin Newsom's sweeping stay-at-home orders, which remain fully in place, with a crackdown on beachgoers who have defied restrictions. Beach closures came after Newsom complained that beachgoers could hasten the spread of the virus in California, delaying the state's ability to ease public health restrictions. With about half of the U.S. states edging towards the partial lifting of shutdown orders aimed at curbing this pandemic, protests are now taking place across large parts in the United States against the lockdowns. In Sacramento, California, for instance, dozens of cars lined up for a drive-in protest in a parking lot just outside the state capitol. Protests also took place in Chicago, Illinois, and some in Chicago even held signs calling for the governor's impeachment. Protesters in Jackson, Mississippi, waved flags outside the Capitol building. Crowds also gathered outside the Ohio State House to protest Governor Mike Dooney's stay-at-home order to stem the coronavirus spread. Scores of demonstrators headed to the capital of Delaware on Friday to protest the state's stay-at-home order. In New York, too, about 10 vehicles organized a caravan in a May Day protest over the shutdown put in place to stem this pandemic from spreading further. The action was part of a nationwide effort called MAGA Day Rally for Freedom. During this outbreak of COVID-19, it took place in the parking lot of the Green Acres Mall in Valley Stream on New York's Long Island. The protesters made it clear that they're pro-Trump allegiance and put Trump's 2020 signs in their windows. Another set of protesters in New York staged a rolling demonstration in cars in honor of Labor Day to call on the government to protect workers' rights and provide aid to help people reeling economically from the impact and the fallout of this virus. The auto procession also traveled to New York Governor Andrew Cuomo's office in Manhattan and to outside of a penthouse apartment owned by Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos. The Labor Department data on Thursday showed some 30 million Americans who have sought unemployment benefits since March 21st this year.